about rotation. I'm going to zoom this guy in. All right, so if we're talking about rotations, last class, I had you like draw, you had to put an index card on it, and you had to draw angles and then count the hops to get the angles. We're not going to do that today. Today, first, we're going to graph the pre-image. First, we graph the pre-image.
Guys, everyone should be writing exactly what Ms. Reef is writing. Like she's not doing this because she needs to know how to do this.
The one I'm doing, I'm writing it down.
So first you're going to graph the pre-image. The pre-image is all of the coordinates. That's your x-coordinate, comma, your y-coordinate.
Oh.
Which is like over and then up. Remember, you guys know how to graph coordinates. Our next step is we are going to use a rotation table to write the vertices for the image. Check this out. Take a look at what I'm putting a box around. This
Rotation table.
right here
Rotation table. Thank you.
is my table. This is my rotation table. So my original image, I'm going to have x, comma, y. But if I were to say rotate this image 90 degrees, I would flip my points around. First, I would put the negative version of my y, and then the positive version of my x. And I'm going to show you what that means in a minute. So our step 3, plot the points, connect the dots, and check your image. So step 1, graph the pre-image. Our pre-image is this. A is 4, 9, B is 6, 7, C is 6, 3, D is 4, 1. Let's plot our pre-image. So 4, 9 is A.
Plot.
6, 7
Check.
is B. So right now we're just graphing the points that I underlined over here. 6, 3 is C. And 4, 1 is D. This is my pre-image, and then you're going to connect the dots. I need you to have a trapezoid like this. I'm going to come around and make sure that everybody has the pre-image. So what we're going to do is use our rotation table to rotate 90 degrees. So this is like a little bit of plug and chug action. Remember when I said plug and chug? What does plug and chug mean? What do I mean when I say plug and chug? Anyone have ideas? What do you think?
You have to plug in dots.
I have to plug in dots.
No.
What do you think?
Plugging the dot and then like the line like chug.
Nope.
And then turning off.
What I'm going to do is use the variables that I have and plug those variables in somewhere else. So if we're rotating 90 degrees, we're going to take our image, which was x, y, and we are going to flip our signs to be negative y, comma, x. So for example with A, my x value is 4. My y value is 9. So to rotate it 90 degrees, I'm going to do the negative of the y value, which is 9, comma, my x value, which is 4. How about for b? I'm going to take the negative of my y value, which is 7, comma, my x value, which is 6.
So Ms. Reed, you're just flipping your x and y
Yep.
and making the first one negative or the opposite?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just flipping my x and y and making the first one the opposite. So try C and D on your own and then plot your points. Try C prime and D prime on your own and plot your points. So for C, we end up with negative 3 comma 6. And for D, we end up with negative 1 comma 4. And now we're going to graph these. So A prime is at negative 9, 4. So we go left 9 and up 4. Boom. Label it A prime. You do need to label it as A prime. The little parenthesis means prime. B prime is at negative 7, 6. Put a dot here. Call this B prime. C prime is at negative 3, 6. Put a dot here. Call it C prime. And D prime is at negative 1, 4. Put a dot here. Call it D prime. And we will connect the dots. And check your image. I had a trapezoid that's kind of like facing up and down, and I rotated it 90 degrees counterclockwise.
See, why can't we do that from the start instead of doing that whole other line?
I wanted you to see it the other way. Some people's brains work better with seeing those angles. Some people's brains work better with just following the rule. So I wanted to give you both options. You can do whichever you prefer on the test. What questions do you have about rotating 90 degrees? Yes.
So basically, if you take the shape, you're just flipping it like that.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So with the rotation, we start here, and then it goes like this, 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 and then 360s back up to the top. Let's try with 180 degrees. With 180 degrees, we start with the pre-image, the original points, these original ones that we already plotted. We're going to keep the x value and the y value in the same place, but we make them both negative. So for example, for 9, becomes negative 4, negative 9. 6, 7 becomes negative 6, negative 7. 6, 3, negative 6, negative 3. 4, 1 becomes negative 4, negative 1. Go ahead and plot those points.
Oh no, is that right? Did we put 2 primes?
Double primes, yes. So for example, this guy is our A, double prime. B, double prime. C, double prime. And D, double prime. 70 degrees. In order to rotate 270 degrees, we're going to put the y value first, put the x value second, and do the opposite of the x value. So for example, with number A, with letter A, we put our y value first. Our y value is 9, so 9, comma, our x value is 4, and we make it the opposite.
So you said opposite, I was like, accident, you should have been negative.
All right, go ahead and fill out B, C, and D, and graph it. B triple prime is going to end up being 7, negative 6. C triple prime is going to end up being 3, negative 6. And D triple prime is going to end up being 1, negative 4. And I can plot these. A triple prime is at positive 9, negative 4. Call it A triple prime. It's super important that you label it A and then 3 little dashes up top. B triple prime, triple
Y.
triple prime is at 7, negative 6. Put a dot, call it B triple prime. C triple prime is at 3, negative 6. Call it C triple prime. And D triple prime is at 1, negative 4. Call it D triple prime. Connect the dots. So this rotation that I drew in black is 90 degrees. This next rotation, where we rotated it 2 places, 2 quadrants, is 180 degrees. And to rotate it 3 quadrants is 270 degrees.
You rotate 300.
If I rotated it 4 quadrants around, I rotated it 4 times, where do you think it would end up?
The same place as the first
In
one.
the same place as where it started. Good. So when people say like, oh, I did a complete 360 and turned my life around, that just means you're back where you started. So when you say like, I did a complete 180, is I turned my life around and I'm doing the opposite. But to say I did a complete 360, you're back where you started. All right, so now we're going to do our challenge problem. I'm going to give you a new sheet of graph paper so that it stays nice and neat.